obviously a tough injury with Seth yesterday. What can you say about that, and what can you say about his physical injury?
Yeah, Seth tore his Achilles on a non-contact injury, and crushed for Seth, and our team. But once that wears off, you got to move on, and you get it's an next man up mentality, and certainly nobody cares, and so we'll make adjustments, and we'll move Carson to center, and move Austin in there to left guard, and those guys were there today. Had a very good practice, very spirited practice, and I thought Will did a great job. After that went down yesterday, and then even today, and so excited for those guys to get in there and have a great game. And it's a great opportunity for those guys now. They both played a lot of football. We won a lot of games with Carson at center, and Austin's played, and again, it's like a body blow when something like that happens. Seth means a lot to this team and what he's done since he's been here. We'll talk about that in another moment, but we're going to move on and focus on the future and focus on the guys that'll be in the game.
Tim May,
Ryan, have you ever been on a team where the offensive line has been struck like this has? I mean, starting with the ailments in August, at the hotel, and then right on down the line with Josh Simmons and everything else. Does it feel like body blows? What does it feel?
Yeah, it does. It does. But then you wake up the next day and you move on. But yeah, it's tough. But that's why you recruit depth, and that's why you work to get those guys in the game. That's why you work in the off season to build depth. And we knew things like this can happen. And it's not the NFL. You can't just sign guys off of waivers. You have to have guys ready to go because again, at the end of the day, nobody cares. We got to move on and we got to win games.
Stefan Kreisnik, Cleveland.com.
How do you feel Carson has developed, at center since last year? I know he's been working behind Seth a lot. Just where do you feel like he's made strides that gives you confidence that he can get in there and be even better than he was last year?
Well, I see some confidence in him. I think he's learned a lot from Seth this year. I think they've been great together. I think he gained a lot of confidence coming out of the Penn State game. He's playing with a lot of confidence. He had a very good practice today. So he has experience doing center, so he's done it. And I think having Will there, Will's been great today with him, and they communicate well in terms of making the IDs, and they'll meet together and make sure they're on the same page. But yeah, I mean he's every year as an offensive lineman you grow, you change, you learn, and he'll be ready this weekend.
Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
When it comes to Austin, what have you seen from him that makes you guys confident that he's the guy that just plugged directly in there instead of kind of seeing what happens next game in practice?
Yeah, what we've seen in practice and what we've seen in the game, and there was a point there where he was splitting reps with Tegra. He's played some football this year for us, and so he's the next guy up, and he'll do great as well.
Austin Ward, the podcast.
Right, how much were maybe Josh Padilla or Luke Montgomery in the thought process for this week?
Yeah, they're right there too, and I mentioned that to Luke last week. I think it was during a walkthrough. Like, man, you're a player or two away from being right in the middle of this thing when it matters most. And I think that's the part that for young players, young linemen, is always difficult. Is that you're putting the work in on a weekly basis, but maybe you're not seeing the feedback and the plays that you're looking for. Well, they're coming, and they're going to have opportunities to do that. I did think the 3 plays that Padilla was in there last in the Northwestern game, he really took advantage of those. Like 3 really good reps, and so that's what we're looking for when guys get in a game. And so those guys are right there, and they'll have to be ready when we call on them.
Cameron T. Robinson, Athletic.
Ryan, how much growth have you seen in Austin from when he got those 2 starts at the beginning of the year to where he's at now?
Yeah, a lot of growth, a lot of experience, and being around guys like Donovan, being around guys like Josh, being around guys like Seth, who have played a lot of football. You learn how you go about your business. You learn about what it takes to prepare, the calls, all the things that come with that. And Seth was out there today. He's going to be with these guys, and he's almost like a coach. And there's a lot that goes with playing with the offensive line, and a big part of it is how you go about your business and the confidence that you have across the board when you communicate right. And then ultimately it comes down to getting after people and knocking people off the ball. And I think those guys have built confidence as the season's gone on. They know what it looks like. They've had success, and now they got to be at their best.
Matt Murphy.
Ryan, you talked about the Indiana defense yesterday, specifically the defensive line kind of staying on theme here. What have you seen from that front? It's obviously been
Yeah, they make a lot of plays. They have a lot of TFLs. Wreak havoc. A lot of movement, ton of movement, and they have a good scheme in how they do it. Penetrating again, a lot of movement, and create a lot of one-on-one situations, and they've created TFLs and gotten teams off of their rhythm, up behind the chains, and they play hard, high motor players.
Stephen Means.
Right. I'm not sure, but is Josh Padilla up next at center if something would happen to Carson?
He would be, yes.
And Luke would be up next at whatever guard spot.
You got it.
Okay.
Dylan Davis.
What's Seth's status right now?
He's. I wouldn't say he's day to day. He's more like week to week to see how he's healing, to see if he can heal enough to be able to play. If not, then he'll have to have a more long-term surgery.
Bill Landis.
Right, you said Seth is almost like your coach now.
Yeah.
What do you guys look for from him moving forward? And as he recovers, I don't know if he needs a surgery, how much time is he going to spend around him?
Yeah, he'll have surgery next week. That's the plan. I don't know exactly what day he will, but he was in the meetings today. He was out in the field. I just think that he knows these guys well. He knows what's going on in terms of the calls and knows the dynamics. And I just think that it's one thing to have a coach. It's another one thing to have a player or a peer that you can go to for certain things. And there's some things you can talk to your coach about that are easier to talk to another player about. And just about preparation. Guys who have been through it this year, know the team dynamics and things like that. And so, he's going to be around these guys the best he can and the most he can. Certainly, once the surgery happens, he'll need some time to recover. But this week, he's going to be around the guys.
Tony Girdman.
With Indiana and Michigan coming up, did that make Carson Hinzman the no-brainer, the experience thing that you guys relied on against Penn State as well? Was that the main thought?
Yeah, we had contingency plans in place for these types of things, and that was the decision that we made, and that's what we moved forward with.
Joey Kaufman.
Ryan, did you hear anything back from the Big Ten on tackle on Jeremiah?
No, I haven't heard much back other than it should have been a foul, and I know there's still some conversation there.
Dan, did you have a question?
That was actually my question.
Okay. All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Yep,
Thanks, Ryan. Good to go?
Will looks like he's going to be ready to play. Yeah, he's had a good week of practice, and we'll see how he does tomorrow, but and see what he says and see what the doctors say. But he's had a good week, and I think he'll be available.